Okay guys, this tutorial is going to go over some basics. These things don't belong here. They're not supposed to pop up. Go over some basics and help you do both the text assignment, the first text assignment, and the second text assignment. So we start here at the main screen, the new file screen, where I want to teach you something. I'm going to click new file. I need you to learn this right away and always know it, because a lot of people don't, and it's very, very important. You have a bunch of different template types that you can open up. They're presets. So you have photo, print, art, and illustration. Those three are different from these three in a very important way. They're designed for print. So you'll notice that these require 300 pixels per inch. At 300 pixels per inch, the resolution when you print it will be good. If you've ever copied something from the web and then printed and it looks bad, it's because it breaks this rule. Web stuff, because it's displayed on a screen, which helps the resolution, smooths it out, it only needs 72 pixels per inch, roughly 1/4. So it takes 4 times as much information to get a print quality thing. So when you're sizing things, resizing things, trying to print stuff off a screen, you need to understand that. We are going to prepare this one for print. So we're going to open up, we're going to select print, 8.5 by 11, and we're going to create. That's what this assignment will be. Okay, so one of the first things I want you to do, and this setting should stay. We're going to go to Photoshop up here, top left. We're going to go to settings, and we're going to drag down to units and rulers. Photoshop speaks pixels, but that's not really helpful for you. So I'm going to have you select inches and then hit OK. Okay. Then this is a great tool I want you to have. This is your ruler. Okay. So you're going to get that by going next to your space bar, holding down the Command key, and hitting R. And then you'll have a ruler to help you out, to help you navigate things, line things up. So, all right. So this guy has your measurements on it. Note that if I'm at the top, there's that little white line. I'm at 1 inch from the left side of the paper, and now I'm at, oh, a little ahead of myself there. Well, no time like the present for you learn your layers palette and how to delete a stray text layer, because they happen all the time. All right, but I'll show you that again and actually teach it. So, all right, I usually like my layers palette over here. A couple things I need you to know, and that is things that keep you safe. This tool, I'm just painting. You should probably do this so you get some understanding of it. Okay, let me get this other color. Yeah, we're good. No, let me get another weird color. Good. All right, let's go there. Yeah. Whoops, gotta switch them. Okay. Now, this big mess I've made, I don't like it. I make a mistake. So what I want you to know is if you make a mistake, you can always fix it. Photoshop has a simple tool in it, and that is go backwards. You simply you hold down the Command key, and you tap Z, and step by step, it will go back to the point in time where you didn't make any mistakes. So if you make a mistake, you can immediately remove it and go on. That should calm you down. Second, there's a whole lot of stuff in Photoshop, lots of menus, windows, palettes, buttons, drawers, all of it. And it's a little overwhelming, especially when you're looking for something and it's not there because you moved it or you closed it. That just shrinks it. This actually closes it. So, and you don't know where to go find it. So Photoshop has a system of workspaces. When you open Photoshop, it opens to the default essentials, and it lays out the tools it thinks you will need, okay? If you mess it up, you just come in here and choose Reset Essentials, and it'll go back to the way it was, okay? So that allows you to get back to the beginning where it looked like it was when you started, and you can do everything all over again, okay? All right, so I located my errant tool palette. It was on a different screen, and I will go from there. So this is my tool palette. One of the things I want you to learn is to use your keyboard to move around the tool palette. Two tools we're going to use today are the Move tool. If I want it, I hit V. Okay. And the Text tool. If I want that, I hit T. All right. So also note these little menus with the triangles. If you two-finger click on it, there are tools underneath. So if you're looking at something, it may be under there. I like my toolbar arranged this way. You can choose longer. Just click these arrows. It'll toggle you between those two setups. But learn to get it comfy how you want it. And then eventually you can save your own workspace. All right, so today we're just going to be working with getting the basics of text tools down. So you click there. Lorem ipsum text is just instant sort of gibberish. It's actually Latin, and it is real from something, but it's just designed to let you see that it's a text box and see what your text looks like, so you can check the size, the structure, all that, the margins, and have something visual to look at even before you've typed in any text. So it pops up that way. It also pops up highlighted. So as soon as I start typing, it goes away. Okay? So something to teach you about the text tool. I have the text tool. Once I'm still clicked on this box, the cursor's blinking, I'm still in there. If I click out, I've still got the text tool, and I get this square bounding box to tell me that wherever I click, it's going to start a new text tool. But when I make my way over here, I lose the bounding box, because now if I click, I'm going to click in here, and I can select and modify this text. Okay? If I'm modifying that text, fonts are scalable. I can get whatever size font I need or want. 72.5 is available to me. So all of your fonts are available up here. This is your font list, and we'll talk more about that later. This is your font style, okay? And this is relatively fine adjustments for anti-aliasing, not that important, okay? So you can move text boxes. Obviously, note that I switched to the Move tool. I can hit V, or I can click on it. Hitting V works. The only time hitting V doesn't work is if you're selected in here. It's not going to switch tools if I hit V, because it's going to type a V. So that's only a problem with text tools. But if I'm here and I tap T, you'll see it change to the text tool. So now I'll change it back to the Move tool. Next thing I want you to know is that you have a powerful tool that you'll use a lot, and it is hold Command, type T, and pops the handles around. The handles are for stretching. You can stretch it, you can rotate it. I'm going to Command Z to straighten it out. You can also flip it over by dragging, oh, nope, not this time. Yeah, if you drag it from the corner, you can flip it over, okay? So all those things. On the corner, you can spin it, and it will keep it that same shape. If I drag this, it's not going to stretch it up, it's going to make it bigger. It's going to make everything stay the same ratio and size. If I want to distort it, I hold the Shift key down, and it'll stretch it out, okay? So different ways to resize and move that text box. Okay. So that's basic things about a font box, but I have to talk about the layers palette a little bit. I want you to notice that. I've got two layers right now. I've got a background. This means it's locked. Go ahead and leave it locked. Always a good idea. But on top of that, I've got the word typing, okay? I'm going to add another text box. As soon as I do, it's going to automatically add a layer, okay? Now I'm going to type the word loud, which I just already did. I'm going to switch this, okay? And I'm going to make that word loud blue instead, okay? So now I have two layers. I have layer one, and this has become layer one. Once I click out of there, you'll notice that it names that layer after the text I'm typing. Layers work just like pieces of paper. If you want something to be on top of something, just like a piece of paper, whatever's on top is on top. Loud is on top of typing. If I move loud, the loud layer underneath typing will be on top. It's important to remember with layers, make sure you're working on the layer you mean, make sure your layers are sequenced the way you want them to be. All right. Now, one other panel. This one is a little more detailed kind of panel about fonts. It's the character panel, and it is, you're used to like font names, changes, size, all of these things where you line it up differently, indent. You're probably pretty familiar with those. These character tools run a little deeper, and I'm going to use the text tool a slightly different way than I did before. I just clicked and typed. So I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to make a box, and it's going to drop in text so I can look at what this does, because I want to be able to show you that. These tools are a little different. They're less common, less familiar. First one is leading. When you adjust the leading, and I want you to notice that little icon under my finger there, 2 arrows at each end, the little bar. It's because I have a horizontal slider, and as I slide it left, it goes down. The number goes down. Slide it right, the number goes up. What that number is the space between these lines. That's what leading controls. Okay? Move right down to tracking, and tracking controls the space between letters. Okay? So you can adjust that. You can also type in those fields and not just use it that way. If I go here, it's pretty clear what this does. This stretches the letters vertically. It's another way to do that. Okay? And this one stretches the letters horizontally and makes them wider. These guys, all in here, for this entire character palette, they've got to be selected, highlighted, in order for these changes to apply. If I hit that, it is faux bold. It fattens them up a little bit more, even if it's already bold. Okay. If I click this one, this is faux italic, and it'll make it italic. I forgot to mention, that's kind of important, if you don't know what something is, put your cursor over it and wait, and it'll pop up an answer. Horizontally scale, that's what it allows you to do. Okay, so that is your character palette. Those are all the cool tools there. Now, going to show you one of my favorite things, font browser. You guys have access to a lot of fonts. So I'm going to open up a file, and I'm going to go ahead, actually, because I already did it in another hour for another class, and I'm going to select all this, and I'm going to delete those layers and show you how to copy that, because then I'm going to get rid of my guidelines too, because I want to teach you how to bring those back. Okay, because it's pretty easy, and it's a very useful tool to keep your stuff tidy and lined up. Okay, so it's a pro tip. Okay, so this is like a chunk of an album cover that I screenshot and popped in. Okay, and I want to get this text. That's the first thing I'm going to show you, is how to get that text. So you take the marquee tool and you tell it where to look. Just look in this square and tell me what matches that text. Well, now I'm going to go up. I've selected it. I'm going to go up to type, and I'm going to click match font, and it's going to look through all the fonts it's familiar with and match the text. Okay, now you get this popping up. This tells me that it is available in the cloud. The star next to it tells me I've already downloaded it. These guys are fonts I haven't downloaded. Okay, so I have Vincente Extra Bold, which it believes is similar. I don't have bold. I downloaded that earlier after finding it matched the font. Okay, so I'm just going to click OK, because I've already done that earlier. Now I'm going to hit Command D to deselect and switch tools. I want to copy this box. So I'm first going to use guidelines. Guideline at the top, guideline at the bottom, okay? And I'm going to make my box that same height. I also want it to be the same size. So I'm going to put guidelines at each end. These will allow me to measure it, okay? Because it tells me I start at 1 and I go to about 11 3/4. So that tells me it is 10 inches and 3/4 wide, okay? When I go to make my box, I'll make it that wide. Height-wise, I'll just line it up with my guides, okay? I'm going to grab a couple other guides while I'm here, and that is I'm going to line up the top of that text because I'm going to want my text to be the same height, okay? All right, so now it's time to make my box. I want my box to be this color, so I'm going to pick my color first, okay? Right now would be that color. The tool that gets you the identical color is the eyedropper tool. I'm going to click this, and now I have that same color. It was on there from earlier because I've done this before today. So now I'm going to select my rectangle tool, and I'm going to make a box that goes that whole distance. And I'm going to move it off here to the right. Let's see, 12. Yeah, that's probably about right. Okay, so center it a little better because I want it to be 10 and a half. I'm going to move this so it lines up with the actual edge. I can get a guideline. I want to line it right up to 13 there. So my measurement makes more sense. Okay, 10. Take me to 23. And then I would be at about 23 3/4 to be the same size. So that's pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect for our effect. Now I got to put my text in there. Okay. My text has a bounding box. If I put it over the square, it turns to a circle. That means it's going to link the text to that bounding box, which sometimes can be problematic. I prefer it on a separate layer. Okay, so I'm going to do this out here. I'm going to type the word I want to emulate, which is Nirvana. I have already chosen Vincente extra bold, but it would have been my fonts menu. Okay, so I'm going to make that text black, just like the other one. And now I'm going to move it up. Okay. Now I need it to be the same size, so I'm going to hit Control T so I can free transform it, and I'm going to move it up to the top of the font lines up. And now I'm holding Shift so that I can stretch it, and I'm going to bounce this out. But note that I kind of lost the top. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so for your assignment, all I'm going to ask you to do is take a screenshot of the whole thing. I want to see your layers palette. I want to see the date, your name if it's up there, and then submit that screenshot.